So at the age of 13, I decided to move to America. I didn't decide it, my parents decided for me, and we came here with zero English. It was really hard at the beginning, man. My parents moved out here, and then we went straight to one bedroom apartment with we'd sleep on the floor with two mattresses. It was like me and my sister, my mom and dad, and very humble beginnings, man. And worked our way out. By that, I was work really hard. My mom too, never teach us about money and stuff. So I had to grow up in that environment. Obviously, we got out of it, and as an entrepreneur, and I was beat on the real estate, and now I buy the same apartments, and now we have over 500 units, and we are there to help the little Deanders out, to change that community, to make it a better living for them.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Invest Iowa. Today, I have Neander with me that has managed to build an empire, multiple companies, a successful man, has a podcast, and now is giving me the opportunity to have a little interview, a little chat with him. So we're going to try to dig into how did he become successful? What's his definition of successful? What are some steps that he has taken that maybe you and I haven't? And how we can learn from him today. So thank you so much for coming in there.
What's up, Sebastian, man? Thank you so much for having to the show, dude. I've been watching you, and you had some great, powerful interviews, and some of them a little spicy. It's like I love that interaction, dude. I'm super pumped and very, very happy to be here, dude.
Awesome, man. Like I heard you say you're not from America.
I'm not. I'm originally from Brazil, man.
You
From
are from
Brazil.
Brazil. I
Yes.
would have never guessed that.
Right? Because Brazilians, man, we don't have actually. You can. It's very hard to look at the Brazilians like this guy is Brazilian. Maybe when he talks and the way he says a few things, he might be able to do it. But just by looking at, it, we don't. We just all mixed up in Brazil, dude.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. So you were 13 years old.
I was 13 years old when my parents like, hey, we gonna move to United States, and my mom has been here multiple times for her work, and yeah, just trying to live here. And so when we came, dude, it was very barren. I didn't know nothing in English. I knew how to say hi. That's about it. So 13 years old, that reaching puberty and like all those things, and like I'm going to high school, I know no English, and like there was a very little immigrants when I just started the school, so I was like, it was very tough, man. And like people come talk to me just trying to be nice. Of course there's some assholes along the way,
Yeah.
but like, everybody was just pretty patient. And obviously, you as a kid, it's easier for you to learn the language easier than, for example, my parents that was very older,
Yeah.
right? So I was
Did
able
you
to.
did you come on a work visa or like
um
student visa or like how
yeah,
did
I
that work?
came at student visa for me, and my mom, she still have her work visa valid. Yeah, so.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I could relate. I also came to America on a student visa. So
Really, where are you
yeah,
from, dude? I know
yeah.
Sebastian, it's gotta be, it's not an American name. It's not like, where are you from?
I'll tell you later because this podcast is about you.
Okay, okay, good. But I gotta have you in our podcast, dude, so we can talk about you.
100%. Yes. Okay. So walk me through those steps. So you go through high school, you entire high school learning English, and then like what were your expectations? What were your goals at the end?
Yeah, man. I mean, we as it started high school, and as a just any teenager, a bunch of the teenagers, I was trying to figure it out. Came from Brazil and have my initial beginnings there. Now here, total different culture and stuff. I was at that time, I was a musician. That was my background, and I was thought I wanted to do music. That is the thing that I wanted to do. I was a saxophone player. I used to play at church a lot, and that's what I thought I was gonna do. So as going through high school, I started playing the band there. But I always wanted to be a saxophone player, musicians. I never had these dreams of being anything else. My parents, of course, if you watch that movie Coco, right? Like music was almost bad, right? It's great in church, but like you got to get a real job. You need to be a doctor, a lawyer, all that stuff. But I was like, no, man, I love music.
Wow.
So that was my expectations, I guess. Or
So what was your first contact with real estate? How did that come aboard?
Oh man, that was really long in life. I've been in real estate for the past six years, And like until, okay, so that's my story. Uh, After high school, yes, I uh, started my own business and I did home automation, okay, for a long time. Then I sold my company and I was like, dude, I think I want to pursue my dream. When I was a kid, I want to be a musician. So I start playing saxophone over salsa and bachata music. That shit really took off, man. It was awesome. I played in Japan, China, Singapore, Australia, Mexico, Canada, all over US, playing saxophone over bachata. People would dance bachata music, and it was great. One day I was in town in Dallas, and my friend was already my best friend. He's in real estate, right? He's a apartment owners and all that stuff, and he was part of a group that this group, they teach you how to be a syndicator in apartment investing and all that stuff. So as I was in town, he's like, dude, Neander, I think you should play on the breaks there, bring some music entertainment to this real estate event. So imagine, like, in real estate, you're thinking a bunch of boring people, right, sitting there on a freaking event, on those real estate events. And it's like, no, but on the breaks you can play some music, it'll be super cool, we get the vibe going. So he convinced this guy to bring me on to this event. And at the time the event was a little smaller, of course, than anyway. So I come in and I was there to play, but then I was there. For me, it was almost like a free ticket because I was sitting the whole entire time for the event and I was listening to all of those things that I never ever heard before about financial free investing and stuff, like, and I was taking notes, dude. I have, like, in my saxophone case, like a piece of paper, and I was just taking notes and all the stuff he was saying, like, oh my God. And he'll bring a lot of people on a stage to, hey, this guy used to be in a corporate whatever, now he bought this many units, and all with the syndication kind of style. If I don't know how much you're familiar with syndication, your audience is, but syndication is like you raise money for other people. So basically you're buying like millions of dollars apartments by yourself with other group of people, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to put a lot of money in and all that stuff. So at the time I called my wife and I said, oh my God, I just had the gig of change my life. You got to come to this thing. It's like, it's amazing. Like, fuck. And at the time, my wife, I had a single family in Boston. She's from Boston. And, we have no experience, nothing. She wanted to live in there, but she never, and put a tenant on, was not cash flowing at all. It was probably paying all the bills. So with that mentality, dude, it's just sparked that light. So that is answer to your question, my first interaction, you know what I mean, in apartments
So
and in real estate.
it was luck.
Dude, call it luck, yes, it's the right place, the right time. But it goes, you can look at so many different angles.
Yeah.
I can look at it by having this best friend of mine that is already on the real estate side that could, influence me to be there. Or you can be a luck, you can be the right place at the right time, you can find different angles to measure that. But I consider that, for me, I like to believe that is the people that and recognize that you hang around to, that is the people that are going to push you in one way or the other. That's my belief.
I see what you're saying. So how does that gig change your life?
It changed because, like, I could see a perspective of life, or of a business, if you will, that I probably would take me longer to see them in a different way. Um, I don't know. I feel like right now it's that subject of real estate is very hot. It's a lot of people talking about it. I'm talking about it. You're talking about it. There's other people talking about it, creating constantly content. But I think 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it wasn't like that. So maybe now we are getting more people involved into this kind of, business of real estate investing than back then. So maybe today I would be listening to your podcast and I'd be like, oh my God, this is life changing. This is great. Oh my God, he can do that. I can do that too. So.
Wow. Okay. So with the podcast, no, let's stick on the podcast later on, because you started that later on. So from single family, did you start buying single family, or did you start right away with syndication?
Right. So we had that tenant, right? So, and then after the conference, and we attended another one and reading stuff about it. So that was the first interaction I had, which was your question. And then we're like, okay, we already have a tenant. So how can you, push a little bit of the rents and do something? So The lease was about to expire, and then the basement was already finished, but wasn't quite legalized by the city. So we went to all the permits, and we were able to do the permits there. So it got legalized as bedrooms now down there. So awesome. Now we listed back as 4 bedrooms now, this condo, right? So after that, we were cash flowing over $1,000 a month, like
Okay.
net. So it was nice. And then it was like, shoot, that's great. It was nice tenants because it was nice part of Boston. It was a Somerville by the square, so it was a nicer area. So it was good qualifying tenants. They had to pay, deposits and all that stuff. We got a realtor to help us out to put good tenants in there. So we never had an issue, and we are cash flowing clockwise. It was like, fuck, it's amazing. So sign up for this mentorship for this program, and start doing all the process of now finding a property, get it educated, and underwriting deals. So and this is the kind of thing that is a teamwork. My wife and I work together, and she is the underwriter. She's the smart. She's the brain. She graduated from Harvard, man, and so she's like super smart. So she was doing all the underwritings, and I'm doing all the investor side. I'm doing all the business plan, different angles for my background of contractors and all that stuff, engineering. So I did that part, and also the network of investors. I knew a lot of people from my old clients, from my current network of investors, some friends and family. So when we were ready and when the road to do make sense, so we fulfill those people. Yeah.
Well, okay. So you were kind of starting to develop your own team with you and your wife.
We developed our own team. Obviously, when you first buy multifamily, large multifamilies, the banker, the lender, whenever they're gonna lend you anything, you have to you have to partner up with other people that has to be in your team for you to leverage them, not even a certain amount of money for you to get a secured the loan. You need to have some kind of net worth and liquidity equivalent to the loan you're getting and all that stuff. So you leverage everybody together, people that have already a track record, they already have a few deals full cycle, bought it and sold, and under their belt. So you'll be able to qualify for those large loans. I'm talking, about 15-20 million dollars and such. So
Gotcha.
we got the deal, we got it under contract, and we bought those people in as a team. So we're still asset managers and stuff like that, but they're leveraging. They get a percentage, of course, of the project, but we're the one that leads, and that's how we started it.
So you're talking about general partner.
General partners, yes.
Gotcha.
So our first property was in Box Springs, which is a little bit East Dallas, about 15-20 minutes, 147 units. And that was the first real estate property, or like that we bought as a multifamily.
Okay, so you went full like syndication mode with this.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, because most people will start, with your single family, duplex, triplex, then they'll step up into commercial, and then finally end up in multifamily apartments.
There's ways to do it, man. I mean, we leverage the program that we had and the network of people, the mentors, and like that's something I wanted to do. The payout is a lot more and is the same amount of work. Look, I have also a property that is a 68 units. I have actually more work on my 68 units that I have on my 176 units in Fort Worth. You know what I mean? So for you to manage, or if you self-manage a fourplex, triplex, whatever, it's a lot of work as well that you do, and the same amount of money that you put in if you do a large syndication, and the payout, the affordability of do things, it's a lot higher because it's scalability, right? Economies of scale.
100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. How do you go about the conversation of like not having the right network, not having the right partners to go into syndication? Because most people, like when your argument is, oh yeah, no, with syndication you can go a lot faster with less time, right? That's the premise. Because of course you have the right partners, right? With multifamily, for like, let's say a fourplex, like you were saying, a fiveplex is not the same because you're the one that there's not enough money to bring a insight manager. There's not that many options. How do you what are some strategies or advices that you will give to people that are in that period where they're still in the commercial, they're still in the multifamily, but they're not scaling their business to where you are right now, right? How would you
Yeah.
how would you gap that bridge?
Well, I think the most challenging things for a large multifamily is raising the equity. It's raising capital. So if I ask a question to you right now, it is like if I ask you to be my partner, but we have together to raise, for example, $5 million, how would you get those $5 million? Who
I will
would you
go.
reach? Who would you call? Who would you, right? And I'm not asking this is in general. I'm using it as an example, but as a general. If you somebody who's is watching and listening to this, is like So there's a question. I have a lot of friends there. For example, they're doctors. Okay, and I have they think in their mind, man, doctors are rich. I have a lot of doctor friends. I could just easily say, hey, I'm raising this and for this deal, and then they all invest with me. Wrong, because what happens is they know you as a doctor, and majority of the people that have some kind of majority, not all, not even majority, but a good percentage of people had you're already going to invest. You try to understand your investments. You're a little picky. You're a little you get to figure it out. And now I know you're a doctor, and one day you're just like, hey, I'm in real estate now, and people, what the hell, man, where's your track record here? Right? So they get that stuff but what I tell people is like to start priming your investors. So
Mm,
priming your people, like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm investing passively, I'm getting those returns. Hey, look, in that year I make this amount of cash flow, it's going great. Look at this property, look at these things. Start priming them, so whenever you're ready to raise for real, then you have those people already primed. You know what I'm saying? Because basically when you're raising capital is like as that you're soliciting, right? So what I do, and there's tons of different strategies, but what I do when I'm raising, I send an email blast to my investors that it's in the network, right? Hey, raising capital for this property. This is the project. This is the returns. This is the location. Blah 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 blah. All the details. And this is our webinars coming up. Register for the webinar so we can hear in details what this deal is all about. Start from there. But basically, like I call for people, I have calls all the time, and they want to know what's the cap rate, or what is the interest rate you're getting, what is this deals, what is your exit strategy. So, but going back to your question, is like when somebody's doing that, they want to scale, is like you have to bring something to the table to get a partner. You had to get a partner. You cannot buy a 60 units or 100 unit complex by yourself. They're not going to give it to you. You have to have, even though if you have a lot of money, unless if you're going to buy cash, but if you're going to secure some kind of debt, you're going to need to have a group or for partners as a general partners, GP. But then they're gonna all ask you is like, if you're very good at underwriting, you can underwrite a lot of deals and bring to somebody that has the experience and can raise the capital and be like, hey, I'm great at this. I can asset management. I underwrote those deals. Would you partner with me? Then there's a very good chance that somebody will partner with you. Or that kind of environment, like, hey, I'm a doctor, I have a lot of friends that might invest, so that is the way too. So for you to scalability, you got to think about the equity first, which that's very important. And obviously there's a lot of other things that comes with that, right? The responsibility, asset manager, who are you going to manage, what markets, and you know
how do you define syndication in your own words?
it's a team player, man. It's a sport. It's like syndication is like basically you're getting a pool of people to be partners, invest in a company. So I get money from um, let's say my friends and family and stuff like that, or my network of people, and we are going to be partner up, get all this money for the down payment for the property, and then we all partners. We all part of the LLC, if you will. So
Okay.
basically, we're buying businesses. It is real estate, but we are buying a business. They have full-time employees, full-time stat, accounting, all that stuff. So we're buying a functional business. You know, it's different from this multifamily, a single family that is just one house, and there's no operations. Like there is operations. So it's an LLC. We all owners. It's just like you own a stock. I own shares of that LLC. That's what the investors are for. So for you, by putting money, you're actually a shareholder of that company, if you will. So that's
Mm.
what it is.
How do you what are some common misconceptions of syndication that you would like people to get rid of?
Say that again.
What are some common misconceptions about syndication that you would like people to, kind of like not believe? Like that's not true.
Dude, I mean, I don't think everybody ever asked me that question. And like, what is the people that don't believe in really in syndication? You can think about it because you have to explain in some kind of numbers. It's a complex thing to be like, okay, so I'm an owner and an owner who manages, who doesn't manage. So it is not the easiest thing for you to explain right now how the numbers work, because it's based on the size of the property, the value, all this stuff, the minimum investments you put in. But I think um, people might be interpreted that, okay, first thing, the multifamily, when you say multifamily, some people think is multi-level marketing.
Oh,
That is the first freaking
yes.
misconception. So in the name of our company is Multifamily Empire, and some people is like, oh, so you're into multi-level marketing? Is this one of those events? I was like, no. So that is probably a misconception.
But I could see it though. I could see it though, because the multi-level marketing always comes with the right mindset, with the positivity, with the
Yes,
like
it's
then
becoming that kind of cult right now, and then I hate it.
right. But like for real estate, it's not the same. You're not actually like looking to build a network of it's not the same. I don't think it's comparable. It's
No,
completely
it's not
different.
not compare at all, not at all. But the name though, and the way now the people are being approached, they want to make Tony Robbins out of real estate things, right? And that vibe, hey, whatever, jumping and shit, which it works for some people. It is great, and which I love every type of event or everything that involves mindset, right? That you change your mindset, and then you get to mechanics and all that stuff. So I get it, but yeah, there's nothing to do with multi-level marketing. So yeah, I just
Multi-level
I just
marketing.
multi-level marketing. It has nothing to do with this, because I'm just saying, this is, you asked me a question about like how people. I get a lot. People ask me, "Is this multi-families and something to do with multi-level marketing?" Because they don't know, they don't understand.
Yeah. So for syndication, you get your first deal, which was what 100 and what
147 units.
147 units. Like I would walk me through the process. How did you underwrite this deal? How did you come up with the network? What were you telling people? How's that process?
Yeah, so I prime my investors. I have been working before I got my first deal, a year and a half, going to events, collecting business cards. Did you have to see? It's not here on my desk. I have it somewhere, a box like with stacks of business cards. And I know you're in the marketing. I'm in the marketing. I've been collecting those business cards and creating a database of investors.
Uh,
I follow up with them. I schedule calls and meetings. So if I go to an event, I get business cards. I have an app on my phone and all this funnel automations that I scan that card. He gets into an email, send them an email. Hey, it was very nice to meet you. Let's, get in each other's contact and stuff like that. So I build my network over the years. And I think that is very important to anyone that wants to get into multifamily or syndication, whatever. So I've been for the first time, right? So we on the road multiple deals. I went to property tours and like went to my broker, that my buying broker that we were using it kind of as a consultant. There's part of this program that we were. He the first time that we went, he looked at our underwrite. He's like, "Yeah, you guys are not ready." And then we get, the benefit of being with the coach, that they kind of tell you, look at your underwriting and kind of have a one-on-one with you and be like, "Okay, this is change here. This is do that. This is might not work. Use this number. Hey, I'm seeing this cap rate in this area, so do that." So that's the benefit of having a coach, right? Having the mentorship. So we leveraged that a lot, and then got closer and closer, going to best and finals. And then best and finals, like, oh my God, if you come in 3,000 more, 300,000 more, and then didn't work out, I lost the deal. And by the time you get to the best and finals, Sebastian, like you're very close, but you spend like over 40 hours a week on due diligence process, like investigating, finding different angles, underwriting, and all that research. So when you lose the deal, you don't get it. It was all that goes to waste. So you got to jump into the next project, the next underwriting, and such. And then one day, got a call and from a broker that we were already been trying to buy, and it was like, "Hey, there's an off-market deal. Why don't you guys look at it?" It was this one, Enclave on Pioneer, and 147 units, Box Springs. Look at it, man. It was like, this is beautiful. It was 1980. Daddy, what's the age of Enclave? Age 1980. Daddy, what's the age of Enclave? Vintage. 1982. Sorry, I had to
1982.
chew him off. Yeah, 1982 property. Every numbers that I have to ask, I have to ask that in my wife. So 1982 property, and it was nice, dude. And we saw the opportunity. There was a lot of meat on the bone. It was a lot of renovating a lot of units. We was that business plan that pushed some of the rents. There was a clubhouse that was a detached from was its own building, like a clubhouse. They were renting for $150 a month, but that we saw that opportunity to convert into 4 units. So that was the business plan that we underwrote, got a deal, and you got awarded, man. It was the first one.
How did that feel? Was it a lot of work?
It was a lot of work on to get the deal, but then that is actually my best performing property, man. That was very good. We raised the capital. It was a little bit under $5 million raise. That was my first raise, and that was the point that people were like, "Look," had to, multiple calls, multiple webinars, and like, "Hey, we're raising money," and the people's like, "You don't have? Is this your first deal, right?" It's like, "Yeah, man, but I promise you, man, we're gonna work very hard and whatever."
Yeah.
you
But
know.
people started trusting you after that and it just
No, it
snowballed.
did. Yeah, none of my friends at that time, none of my family, nobody invested with me. Nobody.
Hmm.
Just like the network of people. I
Hmm.
didn't. I know I'm not the kind of guy to be pushy. I just send an email and I talk about it, but I'm not gonna be, "Hey, are you gonna invest? Are you gonna invest?" No, I don't do that at all. This is not my style. And even now that we have Italo, our investors relation, we that's not how we do sell and call. We're giving an opportunity to invest because guess what? People that invested on that deal, dude, they're gonna make 150% returns.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So
Yearly?
they're gonna no 150% when we sell, they're
Mm,
being receiving 10% cash flow yearly, clockwork, right? Every quarter distributions. But we're actually just had a call with our broker to potentially a sell. So they're gonna make overall by the time to start this project, that was a little over almost 3 years, a little less than 3 years, and they're gonna make 150% returns on the investment. So if you put 100K, you get 250,000 back.
and that's kind of like the exit strategy that you were talking about.
Yeah.
And how
Together
did
with the distribution that we already gave out, the 10%, right? So
Mhm.
together when we sell the rest and everything combined, it's about 150% return.
Gotcha. So after all those deals, how did that transition into becoming who you are right now?
Then man, entrepreneur, you always entrepreneur, dude. You don't stop, right? You see opportunities, and then our biggest challenge and the biggest challenge in this industry, I know a lot of other operators, syndicators, if you will. Um, Biggest challenge is contractors, renovations. This is a 1980s property. It requires some love, right? And our business plan is because based on the comps in the area, the apartments was more renovated than us. So our strategy there was to get in and renovate it, put in this nice floor on it, vinyl flooring, stainless steel, not appliance, but the brush nickel stuff like backsplashes, nice faucets, and nice, kitchen painting and all that stuff. So that was the strategy. So the tenant moves out, we do all this stuff. And just being a pain in the ass, contractors, the property management that we hired, they were supposed to take care of those. It was just a disaster. It wasn't turning in enough. I saw it. I was like, man, how what about we do our own construction company? And at the time, I'm buying all their apartments, right? I'm buying all their apartments, and now we have more volume. And it's like, how about if I import all this stuff from China? You know what I'm saying? Like floors and tiles, like we buy here for $1, we buy in China in bulk, like for 25 cents.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The property could save so much better. I can give a better return to our investors, and we can still make a little bit of money on as a company. So that's how it started. So we started a construction company. We're turning in apartments like hotcakes because we're paying contractors on time. Property managers were delaying the properties, and all of a sudden I was pissed off that before our construction company, they're putting liens on the property, dude, because the company were not paying them. And now I'm finding all this stuff like we're losing good contractors, good people because they were not paying them on time. They didn't have supplies and all that stuff. So it's like, this shit got to stop. So in 1 year, man, we renovated like 45 apartments because we cannot just kick them out. We have to, turn as we get contract flows, and then fast. We developed the system called, 3 to 5 business day turnaround. So when the tenant moves out, dude, we had like a system. We come in 3 to 5 days, like the apartment was tiles, backsplash, all that stuff, painted, 4 to 5 days ready for a new tenant. Because if the unit sits there, it's money that doesn't get, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I started it. And then, then I feel like an opportunity. I was like, man, I hated my landscaping. I absolutely hate it. And then I was like, how much do we pay for landscaping? So I started looking at the T12, and it's like, we paid this much for this mother. I cannot believe this shit, man. This is crazy. I'm sorry. I don't know if I could cuss in your podcast.
I don't care.
Man.
You can do whatever you want.
Apologize. But I was like, what the heck is this, dude? I was like, and then I look at the other property, what? And then I was like, shit, we got to do a landscape company, man. I know a lot of other people in this business, and boom, and it started it. And then on the final, and this is my baby, dude. It's Empire Nation. This is our charity that we do back to our own properties, right? This is a B and C properties. People are humble, beginnings there. The working forest people. We do a lot back to our properties as a charity events, and last Christmas we did a toy. Everybody that we did a nice event, and everybody bought a toy, and we delivered to our own properties, due to our own kids and stuff like that, which I know that is all over the world, Africa and Brazil, favelas, people that need there, but we forget that we have people in need here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if somebody that, look, we evict people that they're not gonna pay rent, especially here in Texas, dude. I know about Iowa laws, but like we evict them really fast. But everybody that has problems paying their rent, we work with them as long as their communication. Come into our office, talk to us, being transparent. You start not answering our phone calls and you start being whatever, you're out. But we work with everybody, right? And try to, and that's being the recipe, man, for success, dude. We just care about people. We care about our business. We care about investors. And it's, when I get my first distribution, my first check when the first property that we bought, I called every single investor. It was like 95 of them. Hey, dude, I know we got our first distribution, man. I send you some cash. It feels really good, man, to get the whole cycle.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. So you build businesses based on the needs from your primary business, from your primary deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have to stop that, man, because I find I'm involved in so many different things. Here's my landscape company doing this and stuff. So I want to really, this year is the year that my wife and I, we're just focusing to get stronger, scale from here. And if you look at Grant Cardone, man, he has multiple business, but instead, like what I'm trying to do is build partners. You know what I mean? Partners in our businesses, right? It's a business that it's part of our ecosystem, and I'll find a partner to be a partner, and then we manage, bring our expertise, bring our business. But I believe in partnerships nowadays.
Okay, you value that over necessarily starting another company. You want to go the full mode into syndications.
Yeah, we are a full mode syndication. This is our main business, right? This is what all this started. Syndications. By this year, I'm looking more deals this year. I'm planning to buy 2 more properties. That's our goal. But everything falls along with the whole ecosystem I call of our other businesses as well. But our main focus now it is multifamily empire, which is our acquisition firm.
Why do you think you're successful? Like what's your secret? What's your special sauce?
Dude, building teams, man. I think it's just building teams and finding good people. I don't know. Good people attracts good people, Sebastian. When you do good and you're a good person because you want to do better and you attract that kind of people. If you're a bad person, pissed off all the time, complaining, you attract that kind of people into your lives. And to our business is no different. When your staff and your team are aligned, where you focus your vision, like my staff knows at all, like they know if we're losing money, if we're making money, they know, because it's for all of them. We do bonuses here, we do, like, we share, stuff. And it was like I'm very we have an office, I'm here in the office right now, but like, you don't need to come to the office every day. I don't want anybody to feel like a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? You just work whenever. There's deadlines. For example, we have recordings this Saturday. There's a lot of things to do, a lot of going on. I expect you to do it, but if you want to go to the gym at 11 o'clock, if you want to take the rest of the afternoon out, I don't even know. I don't care. All I care is about results. A lot of people talk a big game all the time, but it's like, what is your results? Where's your numbers? Because like on the end of the month, like I want that KPI, your results, and then you have to give me your results.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
provide that.
I that's been working for us, man. And if you ask my secret sauce, I don't really know. It's just like I think it's just that. That's
What
what
do
I
you,
believe.
what do you think you're good at? What makes you stand out?
I'm good at networking.
Good at networking.
I'm good at networking. I'm increasing. I'm good at forming good relationships, and I'm I'm good with also. I've been producing for Brett Sumrock events, and we from the long time. So I work for this guy, and I was the transformation and where we started, where he's out as part of events. I love this technology piece, and I love that, and that's some of my skill set. If you look at our podcast, like I did everything in house, like all the staging, all the technology, all the camera work, all the engineering behind. We did all in house because this is my expertise.
What would you like to see more in the real estate world
As far as what?
as far as people?
I think it's just growing organically, man. It's just incredible how I see so many people now coming and creating content for real estate and stuff like that. I think that's great, educational, because, like I said, I look at myself and I was sharing my story. I wish that, you know, before I had that kind of a platform that I could see that and I can see other people's successes. It's not easy, man. That's the thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, that's easy. Syndication. Hey, you raise money for other people. Try to do it." I'd call, get your phone, get your fucking phone, and call some people. It's like, "Hey, man, are you want to put $50,000? This dude's amazing. Everything's great, right? It's gonna be awesome. You're gonna get so many, I have units caught on fire. One of my apartments, like, twice it got on fire. One of them flooded, and then there was a storm here the other day. The roof just fucking whatever. So it is what it is. It happens, but you have to be also to con in. A lot of people think that they're very, oh, it's going to be great, but sometimes it's not. You have to be conservative enough on your business plan, on your underwriting. Even if you're buying one house, or any type of investment, you have to be conservative. You have to be like, what if this happens? What if it doesn't happen? So strategize that way.
Wow. How do you go about, life now? What's your philosophy of life? What motivates you now?
Yeah, man. I mean, everybody talking to me thinking that I'm on a height and stuff, but I have my challenges internally sometimes. Everybody does, right? And I have two little children, and my oldest one is 4, and my little one is 2. And my biggest internal challenge now is like, am I being now as same as successful in my businesses? Am I being successful as a father?
Mm,
Am I spending the same amount of work in my business, growing my business, that we sometimes have this expectation? Then we say, no, I'm doing all this for my daughters, for my future. But what they most need from me right now, it's my attention and my love. You know what I mean?
yeah.
My wife too, all they want for me the most is how to have a family, because that's your foundation for anything. Doesn't matter if you're super successful in business, but if your daughters, they're just growing their own path and whatever, they're gonna have daddy issues later. That's, it's on you, man. It's on me. So that is my biggest challenge today, as a father, as a husband, and from getting off balance, because we are always like, man, I want to grow, I want to get this business, I want to get this going, I want to be this big CEO, this huge portfolio, but this is all worth nothing if I don't do my job as a father, as a husband for my family. So um, that is how I see life today. I'm trying to create this balance, and I'm trying to create to be the best I can in that area. And that is what I'm about today. I'm about to be a better person. I go to Brazil every year and then spend time with my family, my mom and dad. They live there. They're back there, and motivate others, contribute, collaborating, just like we're doing now. And I hope this podcast will come in and touch some people's, that giving the perspective, you can also do it, but don't forget your principles, man. Don't forget your core stuff. And
That's powerful. That's powerful. First, you got to think about family before you think about business. And
yeah, man, definitely. And
that is so powerful, man. How do people reach out to you? How do we get in contact with you? How can we hear more about you?
yeah, man, I mean, you can go to multifamilyempire.com. It's easy as that. You can definitely check us out. See what it's about. We try to, we don't have an education program, anything like this. We just like, we're investment firm that we get investors to invest in new deals. We looking for partnerships, uh, and for people that that would like to partner, find deals, and form a team together, we definitely consider. Obviously, just like I said, we have to be aligned on our, because when you partner up on the GP side, when you have those GPs, co-GPs, and partners, do, it's like a marriage. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like you're running a business together. There's a lot of responsibilities. All your names are in the loan, and now you have this, like, it's incredible how much responsibility. So you really need to be aligned with your GPs, with your partners.
Hmm. Wow, that completely makes sense. Because if you don't have those relationships, then there's no communication, no business. Business
Exactly.
business
You
goes to
can
trash.
you can disagree in some stuff, so more communication, more upfront before you even get the deal. When you're partnering up, that's the key.
Mm, yeah, man. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. It was all knowledge. You spit facts, and I know that a lot of people are gonna find this podcast really really valuable.
Man, I hope that I brought value into your listeners, and to you. And anything you need, please reach out to me. If you want to get on real estate or multifamily, I'm totally open to help out whatever I can. Potential partnership as well. Whenever in Dallas, please let me know, man. I gotta get you
Let's
to our podcast, man.
let's go. We're gonna do that, man.
That's awesome. Thank you, dude. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. If you made it this far, please subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
This podcast is great. Let's hit that like and smash it. Let's go.